said, go to your house, honor your ancestors. Each and every single one must take a lamb. It's evident. They won't read this to you because they know that the minute they read this, trouble will come. When anybody comes to tell you, I'm coming to promise you life everlasting, the person is actually scamming you. For example, if you keep giving somebody a sort of motivation or a sort of assurance, right, in their system, in their belief, do you know what will start happening? They'll start seeing you in their dream. One thing that people don't know is that you can actually become a god.
Welcome once again. I promised I'll be coming back again with this topic, Akwasidea. We are here today. You see, on the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th of June, the next Akwasidea will be super. I want to be there. The first time we are inviting you to join us, celebrate the God of our fathers, our ancestors, as you described the other day around. Remember to subscribe. I beg you, subscribe to this channel. Those that have just subscribed to the channel, I welcome you all. This is a channel to learn. We don't care where you're coming from. You're a Muslim, you're a Christian. No, just listen to the information, go back and learn. We are not here to say you're a bad person for joining. No. We are here to learn. So learn for yourself. It will help you. Bless you so much for joining us. And we are discussing Akwasidea, Ancestral Day. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Sofo, Akwaba. The past topic we had was because last time I committed them. Just all points, all angles were just super. We learning. Thank you very much.
Now, if you can starting on my trust.
And
maybe I said, we always want to give thanks to the gods around us, our fathers, our elders, those that are gone before us. One thing that people don't know is that you can actually become a god.
Me?
Yeah.
Or any other person can.
Any other person can become a god.
Okay, how?
It's for you to become a god. It's just like for you to become a prominent person in society. You just have to do a lot of work and have to be what do you call it? A sort of a reference point, somebody everybody looks up to in the community or in the society, and you have to get at least enough community members to constantly or daily say your name and say gratitude to your name. Easy, you become a god. So for example, if 100 people or 100 employees can always say, Osimosi, he's a good person, or Papa, he's this, that is them constantly it's like the way it is, it's like you siphon the energy, but it's willingly, in the sense that they are showing gratitude for what you do for them. So their gratitude that they keep giving you is like an energy offering that they are giving you to strengthen your energy.
Wow.
So every time somebody say, so if just showing gratitude, giving thanks to somebody, you are always building the person up. Right?
Wow.
So you say this person is somebody who would always step in and deliver me. You've brought the status of a deliverer into the person's life. Wow. If you say this person is somebody who always supports me financially, you brought the status of somebody who has wealth and have the financial capability to deliver people onto the person's life. So whatever you are saying, you are acclaiming that position into the person's life. Now what happens is that the gods are also paying attention. It's like a school, so they look at who next is going to graduate. It's like a football league that we have the Pope League and we have the main leagues, and people are relegated to the Pope League, and people are promoted to the main leagues, right? So that's how spirituality is. Every single person, think about it. Let's take a name like Tobo Charlie. Was a human being, like me and you. Did so many amazing things like me and you. Now is a God celebrated.
Wow.
You understand? He's honored. He's celebrated. Yeah, he's a god. People don't pay attention. Why do all our gods have our names? You understand? I get it. Bosum Yao, Bosum Tian Frama, Frama Kofi, all these names, these are all
people
who lived and were able to upgrade themselves to the god status. right? So each and every single one of us, you can become that. All you need is a whole number of people that are constantly, like, for example, if you keep giving somebody a sort of motivation or a sort of assurance, right, in their system, in their belief, do you know what will start happening? They'll start seeing you in their dreams.
Oh.
Right? When they start seeing you in their dreams, it means you've graduated from you just operating in your dream state to now actually have the power and the will to visit somebody's dream state to help the person.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that is why people say, oh, remember that you made it's not a big deal. Listen, once you grow into that status, you automatically become that, and people will begin to.
The other day, when we were talking about Akwasidea, we got to a point where Jacob, Isaac were being referenced. So you told us to actually go back and honor our fathers as we should. When even we pass on, we are supposed to take it home for a befitting barrier so we can connect to our ancestors. You took it to the point that it's not only the body that decays that is the problem, but the main point is that the body decay, the spirit inside moved to meet the fathers. That's the point we got to.
Go and join the ancestral realm.
I want us to take it from there.
That's where that's what our fathers call NYANSA, NYANSA, which the people didn't understand it well, but the literal translation of NYANSA is the everlasting realm. So when anybody comes to tell you, I'm coming to promise you life everlasting, the person is actually scamming you.
Go back again.
If anybody should come and tell you, I'm promising you life everlasting, the person is literally scamming you.
So if anybody tell you everlasting life, it's everlasting life, it's a scam.
Yeah, it's just like saying that you have this amount of money on your phone, right? And somebody comes and say, you know what, with this money you have on your phone, give me this, and I can multiply your money to be, let's say you have 1,000 cedis, and I come and say, give me 2,000 cedis, I can give you 1,000 cedis on your phone. Right? Then you give me the 2,000 cedis, and I say I'll give you your 2,000 cedis with an extra profit of 1,000, making 3,000. And you go back to your phone only to realize it's only 1,000 cedis there. This money you had already, the person literally did not do anything, right? Okay. So each and every single one of us have everlasting life.
So everybody has everlasting life already.
Life is everlasting. Life cannot die.
Life is everlasting.
life does not have an opposite.
Oh
no, life is continuous. It's a continuous process, right? So that's why a lot of people mistaken the opposite of death to be life. The opposite of death is birth, not death. You are born and you die, but life continues. Life is a straight line; it never ends. You understand?
So John 3:16, for God so loved the world that He gave His. Son. Whoever believes in Him will not perish,
but have it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Look, life is everlasting.
It's a scam.
It's a big scam.
So when you say it's a scam, now related to our own, our fathers, you said it's NYANSA.
NYANSA. So this is what our fathers call it, right? It's the realm that never ends. So it is believed that when all of us die, right? Even the Bible confirms that, right? Because you use the Bible, so I'm referring to you in the Bible. It literally says you're going to join your fathers. The Bible talks about that all the time. When Elijah was chased by Jezebel and couldn't find anyone, he said, let me sit under the tree, let me eat and die. I've done enough, let me join my fathers. So the word you join, let me transition, let me move on.
Let me go to heaven.
No. Nobody goes to heaven. Nobody dies and goes. What people don't know, right? It takes to be on earth is a blessing. It takes a lot of struggles and a lot of trials and a lot of testing and a lot of lifetimes or lives to make it to earth. Coming to earth is not an easy thing. If not anything at all, think about it. Like, let's be scientific for a minute, right? When a man ejaculates into a woman, how many sperms comes out? Millions of sperms. Only one at most, 2 or 4 will make it. Out of the million, how many times do 4 make it? So oftentimes, so out of every million, only 1 comes into this realm. Right? So multiply the ones that make it by the millions that don't make it. Meaning there is more beyond than those that are here.
People want to come.
Waiting to be here. Earnestly yearning to make it here. So to make it on earth is not a joke. It's not something cheap. But the thing is that because of the system, because of the way or the dimensions, when you come here, you must forget. This is the only how to show whether you deserve being in this realm or not. If you do not forget, then you have it on the silver platter. So the place that you died so hard to get to, now let's see whether you really deserve to be in that realm or not. And of course, once you graduate from here, then you go to the higher realms.
So you're saying that life is everlasting already. Whoever is promising everlasting is a scam.
Life cannot, how can, like, explain to us, both spiritually and scientifically, how can life ever die? Even in the deadliest of things, there's still life there. How can life ever die?
So we are taken back to Akwasidea.
So, let's go to, and I'm using the Bible only to help people understand some of these things that I'm saying, right? Not because of anything. It is a taboo for any human being to worship a God they do not know.
It is a taboo.
Yeah, it's an abomination. I say it's a crime to human life for you to worship a God your fathers didn't even know. Now, very, very simple. And the God of the Bible even said it, right? So, the Exodus 3. Today we are quoting a lot of scriptures. Forgive us.
Exodus chapter number 3.
Exodus 3.
We are learning.
Verses 6, it says what? Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father. Plain English. I am the God of your father. Right? This is a God introducing himself to Moses. Okay. Moses didn't know who he was. So it's just like you walking in the middle of the forest and a God shows up, right? And an old man shows up in the middle of the forest. You're farming or you're by the river and an old lady shows up by the river and says, my friend here, brah, come here, you young man. And say, oh, mommy, how can I help you? You say, oh, give me water to drink. You give me water to drink. And mommy said, do you know me? You say, no, I don't know. You say, well, I'm the God of your mothers. Or I'm your great ancestor. Or I'm this, right? This woman is only talking to you because this woman has a root link to you. This woman would never go and talk to everybody else because she doesn't have any root link to everybody else. Okay. So the God of the Bible met Moses, and Moses was like, well, who are you? There are so many gods here. Which God are you? And he said, well, I'm not the other gods. I am the God of your fathers. So he was referring to a particular God, to a particular people, not to everybody else on the face of the earth. Right? So the 6 says, I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Specifics.
Precise.
You understand? The same God of Abraham, the same God. People don't know. And this will actually confuse a lot of people. Abraham did not worship the Christian God.
How?
Abraham never met the Christian God.
Yahweh.
The Christian God. Right? In fact, Abraham's God, Abraham did not even know the name of his God to be Yahweh. This is why it was always referred to as the God of Abraham. Nobody mentioned the name. What is the name of the God of Abraham?
Nobody knows till today.
No, according to Moses. Nobody knew the name. So he's introducing himself to Moses. He says, well, the God of Abraham. Abraham knew the God he served, but Moses didn't know the God of Abraham. So he now comes to introduce himself to Abraham. He says, I'm the God of your fathers. For he was afraid to look upon God. Right? So he says, now I have revealed myself to you face to face. Right? Because this God wanted him, Moses, to go to the Israelites and go and tell them that your God is telling me to come and deliver you. Moses was like, wait a minute, if I go, these people would ask me, which God is calling us? There's so many gods. So go and tell them, I am the God of their fathers. I am the God that walked with their father Abraham. Because these people were in covenant with their ancestor Abraham. And never forgot the promise. Promises are not made to anybody else. Promises are made to ancestors. Inheritance are left to ancestors. So he says that I'm the God of your father. Not anybody else, right? Okay. 13 says what? 13 says, and Moses said unto God, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, shall I say unto them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you? They shall say to me, what is his name?
Okay.
So Abraham, at that time, Moses didn't know the name.
You want to be specific.
So imagine if Moses had known the name. Why would Moses go ahead and ask him, what is your name? You understand? So God also said that, you know what? What shall I say unto them? 14 says, and God said unto Moses, I am that I am. Still know the name, still giving him accolades to describe who he is, so that these people will be able to identify this God that he's talking about, right? 16 says, go, gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, the Lord God of your fathers. So what is actually said? The Lord God of your ancestors. When you see fathers, they don't think he's saying some. He's just saying your ancestors, one another. So the God of one another, the God of your ancestors. Let me ask you a question. Who are the gods of your ancestors? Everybody, who are the gods of your ancestors? Because
your home.
The gods of their ancestors was the one sending him to come to them, not the whole world. Mind you, they were the god of Canaan. They were god of Salem, which Melchizedek was a priest of Salem. He had his own God. This is not the God of Melchizedek. This is a total different God. This is only a God that is known to the house of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac. So you see, the God of your fathers. Okay, let's go to Exodus 4.
Well, let's bring it down to our homes here. So if I mention the God of Isaac, it means that it doesn't relate to me.
It has no relation. That's what I'm trying to come to. It has no relation to you.
I have to go to my hometown thread and find out from my penny who are my fathers, who are the gods of my fathers.
So you first have to know your fathers, because apparently these people knew their fathers.
So if I relate to 2:4 the second, I should know my great grandfathers.
Remember when we read in Genesis, right, 49, he says that, cause them not to forget my name. Let my name be named amongst them. This is why we call our names the names of our fathers, so that we can easily identify ourselves. You see, sometimes you can meet somebody and the person will just mention the name and say, oh, Osumo Sibanyo. How did it? Because he is carrying the name of the father that came before him. So without you having the name of your ancestor, you will not be identified in this realm.
People have even decided to change the name of their surnames to some names they believe is more Christian.
Most people are carrying slave masters' names. It's just slave masters. The slave master look at you, so you can be called this, you can be called this. And it became a flex in this nation at a point. That if you are called Benstil, if you are called this, if you are called this, if you are called this, it means that you are closer to the whites. I see the whites were heaven.
So I just want us to come home. So if you are from a certain village, you should go back and find out who your father is.
Who your father is.
Your great grandfather is. Your mother's mother. You should go and check.
Go and find
out who were their
automatically, gods. When you find out who your fathers was, you know your father's gods, because your fathers, they were not Christians. Let's not pretend. Most of our fathers only went to church because they felt that that is the way to go to heaven. But after church, they went and did their own thing. They went to the shrines. They went to see. My father was an elder in the Methodist church, but still has his priest.
So it was important. It's important that now we go back home.
No, so you go and find out who your fathers were, because the God of the Bible you believe in is telling you the God of your fathers. This is supposed to be the God of all power. For him to be known to his people, he didn't come and say, I'm the God who made this. No, he said, I'm the God of your fathers. That was the only easy identifier for the people to know which God was speaking. Because just before, people don't understand, there was countless gods. There are so many gods. So he had to identify that I am the God that set standards, made covenant, did this with your fathers. So if you are looking for anything to look for your fathers, the blessings are in your fathers.
You say it's a curse for anybody to look for any other God,
yes,
apart from his ancestors.
Exodus 4:5 says, Exodus 4:5 says, that they may believe that the Lord God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, had appeared unto thee. This is the God that is, he said, that they may believe. The description, the definition of this God is that the God of Isaac, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 16.
You're learning today. So please follow us.
Deuteronomy 16:6.
Go back home.
It says it, but at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in, there shalt thou sacrifice a Passover at even. At the place, the particular place that the Lord God shall choose to place his name, that is the place that you should sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou comest out from Israel. Basically, what the scripture is saying, that at the day that this God of your ancestors, where the God of your ancestors have chosen for you to sacrifice, is where you should sacrifice. This is what the God of Israel is saying to his people.
So if you have a family altar, that is where you're
don't come to my family altar.
I get it.
This is what he is telling them.
Go back home.
He's telling the children of Israel, at the altar, at the place I've chosen my name to be there, the place that your ancestors knew, the place that your fathers knew, that is where you must offer your sacrifice. You understand? So it's not everywhere. So if I get up and send my tithes to Rome, it's useless to my ancestors and it's useless to my cry. Because my cry has no tidings to Rome. My cry has no tidings to Pentecost. My cry has no tidings to Methodist. That is not the God of my ancestors.
Sofo Benstil, please help us understand this. We mentioned Akwasidea, and all these things you're touching on leads us to the altars in our home where we are supposed to celebrate this particular day. So you are trying to draw a line between where we are doing it and where we are not supposed to do it, and where now we have to go back and do it for the right responses. So go back to the Akwasidea and open us up to it. You've told us about it, that it was slaughtering of animals, specifically the undeformed ones, a certain age and all that, all kinds of drains and all that needed to be poured on that day. So you break it down at the very first video. I want you to take us through again and tell us, apart from the slaughtering of animals, what are we supposed to do, if only it's in the Bible?
No, because it is a responsibility of each and every single family to honor your own ancestors.
Push it.
It is not the responsibility of everybody else to honor your ancestors. Your ancestors are only going to continue to be who they are because you exist. So, there are people who are here and their only job is to maintain the foundation that has been built for them. Because that foundation that you are mending now is not even yours. Let me break it down. Sometimes we can do diagnosis, right? And in the diagnosis, the crowd will come up to speak that, okay, this is my first time in this realm. Now that I'm in this realm, I'm here to establish a foundation. I'm here to lay down a solid foundation. This foundation that I'm laying, I will go back and come and enjoy this foundation, right? So that when I come back on earth again, I don't have to struggle from scratch as I did the first time that I came.
I get it.
So now that I have aged and I'm about to move on, I will urge you, my son, to keep building the foundation that I've laid down. Now it's your responsibility to ensure that this foundation that I've laid down keeps growing, so that when I come back, I don't have to start from scratch. Now here's the problem. Because you think you know better, so you came into the foundation that I built for you and you converted into Christ, forgetting that I'm coming back. You understand? So now, if you destroy the foundation that I built, when I come back, what would happen to me? It means all the labor that I came to suffer my first coming has all gone to waste now. This is why the gods now decide to go against people. Because they realize that your ancestors realize, if I don't do something now, by the time I come back on earth, everything is destroyed. So now the ancestor will now come to the god of the family or the throne of the family or the power in the house and say, Chinaso mami, make sure you punish this child for this child to learn lessons to come back. So now everything begins to lose in your house. Your finances, your business, your children start to go astray. Things start to go down. Then now you are forced to ask questions. And when you go and ask questions, then the ancestors will tell you, you've strayed from the job you came here to do. You understand?
Commercial break. Welcome back. This is information overload. So you see why you're suffering. Do you know why you're on earth? The day you discover yourself, you will gnash your teeth. You will weep. It has happened to me before. The day you realize your purpose on earth, you realize that you wasted much time. Some people will cry. Remember, go and find out who you are. Very important. You're suffering not because of your ancestral. You're suffering because you decided not to do why you are sent here. Very, very important. I don't care. I'm only doing what is right for you now. You can say no to it, but remember, 10 years, 20 years, you still come back to this video and watch again. Let's continue from where we ended.
So what I'm letting you say is that it's now your responsibility to ensure. First of all, you also need to find yourself. You need to understand that whether this is my first time or I'm continuing what my father started. If you are here to continue what your father started, it's your responsibility to make sure you constantly honor your fathers, so that they will also continue to bring you the wisdom you need to continue what they've laid down again.
Okay.
This is not new. Even the Bible says it. Yes, in Exodus 12:3 says, "Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their ancestors." He didn't say according to the house of me, the God. Every man should take a lamb according to the house of the ancestors.
Meanwhile, Yahweh was there.
He was the one giving the instruction.
Everybody should go back home.
He said, go to your house, honor your ancestors. Each and every single one must take a lamb, right? Representing your house, representing your ancestors. It's evident. They won't read this to you because they know that the minute they read this, trouble will come. They won't go. They dare not touch these verses. You cannot inherit anything here in this realm if your ancestor haven't started something. It's not possible. If you come here into this realm and none of your ancestors have come before you, you have to start all over again. You have to start from scratch. There's no possible way you can build. There's no possible way you can grow. There's no possible way you can be successful if your ancestors haven't labored for you. It's not possible. So you cannot come into this realm first time and become a billionaire. It is impossible.
So if you come and decide to go astray from the foundation they've laid, that is where things become tough for you.
Because now they have to punish you to remember. And if you don't remember, they will make sure you lose your life, but they will leave somebody else in the house that will remember. At least there would always be a son in the house that will remember. But if you choose not to remember, you will struggle, you will suffer. It's not possible. Anybody, we can check all the rich people on the face of the earth, right? All the billionaires now. Let's check their backgrounds, who their fathers were, who their ancestors were, who their grandfathers were. Everybody is here building up, and the God of the Bible affirmed these things. So he didn't oppose these things. You understand? What do you call it? Numbers 26:25.
Push it. Join us now. I want to hear your comments. I'll respond to every comment on the page. Share us to everybody. Let people really read this. Please share us on your WhatsApp pages. Copy the link, share it. Subscribe to the channel.
Numbers 26:55 says, "Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lots, according to the names of the tribes of their ancestors. They shall inherit." Not according to any other thing, but they would inherit the land that is ahead of them according to the ancestry they are coming from. So if your ancestry is disconnected, you will not get a land. This is how the God of the Bible was even sharing properties in the Bible according to the names of your ancestors. So if your ancestors were big, you get bigger lands. If your ancestors were small, you get smaller lands. No other way.
As an individual, you're telling me to go back home. There are homes that is down and nobody is even there for you to even cross-check. How do I do this so that I can start doing the right rituals I'm supposed to do on Akwasidea, as you're saying?
Sorry, come again.
I'm talking about the fact that most homes are now disconnected. There is no elderly person who understands the cultures of our fathers to even lead you to know what to do on days like this, to even find out from them what to do on Akwasidea, either your home or outside. How do I get to know of this information if there is nobody back home to lead me to do it?
Sadly, like I was saying earlier, anybody that discontinues the ways of their fathers will be cut off. So there are gods that actually ensures that this generation is totally wiped out. Everything that God knows, everything that energy knows, the energy would gather and start a whole new line. Right? So what a God will do is that the God will borrow a family and make a descendant, a child or a cra come into that particular family and start a whole new generation. That cra would never belong to that family, but it's only here to start what was cut off by the gods. How is this possible? Because most of these gods, these families, they can go to this god and come and take or add a blessing from this particular god. Like for example, a lot of people can go to the Pra River and ask the Pra River for a child, right? So then you become Praba, right? Ofin, and all these names. These are all names of the gods. So now, if there's an original of dynasty connected to that god, and that lineage decide to go against the god, every one of them will die, right? But this is what happened because you have come to borrow a child from Pra. So Pra knows you as somebody he can work through you to allow a new generation to come and restart what was left off, right? So now Pra allows a Kra to come into your family. That child will never belong to you or the mother. That child will never belong to the family. So that child will come into the family totally different from everybody else. And when you go into your families, you know this thing sometimes. Sometimes you can have a child in a family or you can be in a family and it feels like you don't belong there. It feels like you're not one of them. It feels like, because everything about you is different. It's simply because you have come afresh. This is your first time here. You only came to start what was destroyed. Listen, the Bible again says this: don't destroy the old ways of your fathers. Don't destroy it. Don't cut it off. If you do that, it will kill you. When God of the Bible was given, why, if ancestry and the lineage was wrong or was evil, why was he particular about saying don't destroy the old ways? And anybody that would think this is made up, Proverbs 22:28 says what? Remove not the ancient landmark which your fathers have set. The ancient ways, the regulations, the rules, that which your fathers have said this must be the way, don't destroy it. If you destroy it, it will cut you off. That's why we can hear stories of some names who were mighty, who were powerful, but they are cut off. But other names continues, right? Every single one of us here is not above the rules. If you misbehave and if you think the God of the church will save you, give us few years. You will see that all your generations are wiped out.
I want to do that Akwasidea ritual myself. I am here in Accra. I am here. I'm in UK. I'm in Germany. I'm in Europe. Wherever I find myself, I want to now connect. What are the things I'm supposed to do in my own small way to celebrate the God of my fathers?
I said earlier, all you need to do, at least remember, even if you don't know any ancestor, you know your father, right? You have your father's name. Just remember what your father used to like. Because there's a greater possibility that the only reason why your father likes this is because his father liked it. Or the only reason why your mother liked it because her mother liked it. So see, your parents saw somebody do the same thing. That is why they also like it, like the same thing, right? So just know what your father's like, know what your mother's like, right? And just use the same thing and mention the name. Don't even mention the name of any god, because most people don't even know the name of the gods in their background. So mention the name of your father. Mention the father can be alive or can be dead. It doesn't matter. Mention his name, because once you mention it, just add this trick to it. I'm speaking in the name of so and so, Mr. Obeng, Eja Obeng, Kofi Obeng. I'm speaking in the name of Eja Kofi Obeng, who is coming from the lineage of his fathers. And all the ancestors that are attached to the Kofi Obeng name, and all the gods that are attached to Kofi Obeng name, I honor you. You just go through one person. Just by doing that one person, you've connected to all the lineage of that particular person. So you don't know anybody, you don't know anything, but you know one name, right? Now, people will ask, I don't know how to pour libation, I don't know. Just speak, right?
We will come to libation in the next episode so that we can explain libation in detail to them. We're going to take it through step by step, the things you need, the stuff you can use to pour libation, why this, why not this. We want to take that in a whole episode to teach them. We are here to teach you. Get ready. NYANSATV is here to give you every detailed information. Ask all the questions, we will respond for you. Very important. Thanks to Doc Palm. There's an app from Canada. It helped them during the COVID time for everybody to get health care wherever they find themselves. Now it is in Ghana. Doc Palm Ghana is here. Ghana has been the first African country to adapt Doc Palm. It is just an app on your phone. Just go on the phone and download the app. We have patient app and doctor's app. If you are a service provider as a doctor, you can download that one, so you can also come on the app to be able to have access to patients. The fact is that with Doc Palm, you can create your own clinic on the phone. You create your own clinic on the phone. You can share your own link to your patients. Whoever want to talk to you can work through directly to you. That is Doc Palm for you. It's just on your phone. You pay everything with your Momo. Everything is done. They just charge nominal fee. For example, it's just $1 per consultation. $1 is just 10 Ghana cedi for consultation. If you go to the hospital, you're paying 100 Ghana, 200 Ghana. This is the cheapest and the easiest way to get through to medical doctors of your choice. If you're looking for gynaes, pediatric doctors, psychiatric doctors, everybody is there waiting to serve you. Doc Palm, there's a promotion going on currently that all chat consultation on Doc Palm is free. You can chat with the doctor per every problem you are going through. The doctor will serve you there without paying anything. I'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Still with Sofo, Kojo, Benstil. Remember, the next Akwasidea is going to be super. I show you the advert already. So what are you waiting for? Support it. Get ready. I am going myself. You mean NYANSATV there? We're going to be there. So please come. Join us. Let's enjoy the moment. This is pure spirituality. When you talk, you can certain thing. Come and experience it. Say slaughter of animals. Show not the kumati say. Libation physical. You are there. You are seeing the thing. And you talk. And you physical. Come and join us. So you are teaching us about how we cannot do it in our own small way, if even you've never done it before, so you can learn it. So I want to do Akwasidea. I start in the evening, let's say it's Saturday evening. I wake up at dawn. Then I start to pour libation. You are teaching us about the things we have to start doing before we get to know it better.
So one of the things is that we also have to pay attention to is that it's not every single person that is a day person or a night person. Each and every single one of it differs. So just as we have animals that are nocturnal and animals that work best in the day, it's the same with human beings, right? So at least within yourself, pay attention to yourself. Know when you are most awake, or most alive. Some people really come alive at night. Some people come alive in the day, right? Some people are not night people at all. So during the night, I know somebody who by 6:30, they are asleep. He's asleep. He's gone, right? Then right early hours of the morning, by 3, 4, the person is up. He's up, ready to work. And I know somebody who also, like myself, I'll stay up the whole night. I can't even sleep. But in the morning, early hours of the morning, that's why I go to bed. So somebody like me, it's prudent that I pour my libations in the night. Because that is when my cry is connected to the multi-universe. You understand? Somebody that is also a day person, it's better you pour a libation in the early hours of the morning. But that is when your cry comes alive and connect to multi-universe. So once you know yourself and pay attention to yourself, that these are the times that you use to pour your libation. Once you are in these times, like I said, water, every energy likes water. even including the fire energies. Every energy like water. So when you are doing a water,
where can I pour libation? I want to know where and where I can do it, the timing, the time where I'm supposed to do it, the location. Do I have to create a certain altar? I want to understand.
So in your
normally,
house, in your house, you don't even need to do much. In your house, all you need is a bowl or something like that, and you pour it in. You can pour. You can, if you can't come out, you can even get a flower pot. The only thing is that in the flower pot you can't pour a lot of water, right? Because it will drain out, right? And the flower pot you can't pour alcohol, you'll kill the plant, right? So you just find something that you can pour it in, and eventually you can take it out. But the reason why all of this is important is because your purpose here is always connected to your root, to your ancestry, right? The last Bible talk I'm going to talk. In all the forceful juxtaposing of the New Testament, trying to undermine what the scripture is really about, right? The validity of the God of the New Testament, or Jesus of the New Testament, had to do with Abraham. If Jesus was never connected to Abraham, Jesus would have never been accepted as even a son of anybody. Inasmuch as the story is not true, they tried so hard to connect him all the way to Abraham. Think about it. How can anybody be, sometimes we should use our head. How can anybody be on the face of the earth and is able to connect to 10 generations from here now? Easily. Jesus went all the way 6,000 years to connect to Adam. How is this possible? But they had to make it that way so that you understand the weight behind the story they are about to tell you. Because if they never went that far back, you wouldn't have believed that this story is even possibly true. His kingship would have never stood in the New Testament if it wasn't connected to David. And if David wasn't connected to Abraham, then the promise would have never been so.
So some of the stories tell you that son of David, have mercy on me.
You understand? So they needed to connect him to somebody in the lineage of the Jews, not the Christian. If Jesus was never identified with the Jews, Jesus would have never become the story that it is today. That is why the writers of the New Testament ensure that there's a lineage, there's a connection between. Even them, they are telling you your ancestry is significant. You understand? So if you, an individual here in this dimension, if you don't learn to connect to your root, those who came before you, it is not, you cannot fulfill what you came here to do. You can. The only reason why you see me here talking to you today is simply because I connected. If I never connected, I would not be here talking to you. Somebody told me that the first day they saw my foot on the floor in the forest, pouring libation, barefoot on the floor, they couldn't believe it. They just had to turn off the TV. It's not possible. It's not me. Somebody is impersonating me. Because there's something I would never do. Even in my bedroom, I don't care. It can be 7-star hotel. I'll go in my slippers. My feet will never touch the floor. But the minute I connected, all this orientation came in. All the old beliefs I had went away. All of a sudden, I'm connected. Now, I came to realize, it was in spirituality, I realized that, wow, one of the quickest way to actually receive melanin into your system is through walking barefooted. This is something our fathers were practicing, and they didn't even have to explain themselves to anybody.
So if I just come out of my house, or let's say get a pot and pour libation at that time, calling the God of my house, my ancestors, praising them, what are some of the things I'm supposed to say? Very important.
There's this thing that, and I'm saying that to try and attempt to answer your question. There's this thing that a mistake we are almost falling into in our generation. And the mistake is that we are almost coming into the trap of Christianity, where we think that the minute we pour libation is a quick fix to all our problems. Please, that is not the case here.
Okay.
Pouring libation is not a quick fix. It's not, you won't wake up the next morning and see money in your bank account. You won't see all of a sudden see all your problems go away. That is not the case.
Okay.
Pouring libation is a lifestyle. Right? When I say lifestyle, what does it mean? It's just like the school system. When you went to the classroom, they first taught you ABCD, right? Now, after you learned ABCD, they taught you 1, 2, 3, right? The ABCD was help you articulate your lettering so that you can string a couple of sentences together to make a whole statement, right? So you have to learn the basic. 1, 2, 3 was giving you the fundamentals about mathematics, right? To be able to add the figures, right? So that was also foundation. As to what you would do with the ABC you learned and 1, 2, 3 you learned will be based on you and the passion you have towards whatever subject you want to go to. This is what libation is about. So pouring libation is basically you getting the basic formulas to entering into the realms of spirituality. Once you enter into the realm, there's a whole spectrum of possibilities waiting for you, right? So libation is just the key that you use to unlock yourself to the realms, to have access to your ancestry, to have access to the energies. The energies are not overnight going to make you rich. No, that's not how it works. The energies are now coming around you to also come and teach you. So every time you are pouring libation, you are honoring the energies. It's like you are in a classroom. This is why when you offer, you need to spend time at the altar and just you listen, pay attention. You notice that certain ideas are coming into your head. These ideas are the feedbacks that the energies are giving you. You understand? So, all of a certain boldness that you didn't have before. You're getting that boldness. Certain confidence that you didn't have before. Certain assurances, the security that you didn't have before. All of a sudden you started having it. Now it is upon walking in this boldness and in this security that brings you to a place of dominance. When now you are not afraid, you are not terrified. When you have an idea, you pursue it, you go after it because you know you have the necessary backing that you need to fulfill that which you are out there to fulfill.
How do I dress to pour libation then on Akwasidea if I want to pray?
It's always better not to be in your regular clothes, right? Again, your Bible teaches you not to even mix fabrics, right? So it's always better. And this is also tricky. Based on what your cry is, right? Whether your cry is light or your cry is deep, it determines what you wear. But usually, mostly wear one colored clothes during pouring of libation. If you're a man, it's always better to actually put wraps around you. Don't wear any shirt, no jewelry, none of these things. And just if you're a woman, you put wraps around your waist. One colored clothes. Then you pour the libation with it. Always barefooted if you can. If you can't and the place is so cold, you can wear socks. But never be in shoes pouring libation.
Thank you very much for your time. Papi, you came our way. NYANSA TV, this is Mysteries. Bye for now.